Hey everybody, welcome. Time's a little weird this week. It's Wednesday, it's 6 p.m. But here we are. So it's AEW Weekly. We are no bones about wrestling. And I say we, there is more than me. I'm one of your hosts, Asa. Hi, how's it going? And I'm going to be joined any minute by the lovely Kay Fabulous. And yeah, we got a show for you tonight. As I said, we're starting at 6. We'll be done, before 8 or maybe just before 8, but we'll be done before Dynamite starts. So don't worry if you're watching live. Don't worry. So yeah, big week for AEW. Big stuff happening on the TV shows, and a big announcement leaked, and we're going to talk about that. Will you make sure you pull that up? The details of the leaked TV details, please.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about that in a bit. Of course, we have your K Fabulous fashion segment. We have our top 5 rankings. We have some TV recaps we're going to talk about. And what?
We're not. I mean, I didn't get to finish because you had me do other stuff.
Oh, well, you can do it while I'm doing the TV recap.
You want? Okay.
Well, we may have a K Fabulous fashion segment. We'll see. But we got stuff for you tonight. We got AEW stuff for you tonight. So thank you for tuning in. And for those of you who are listening to this after the fact, thank you very much for listening. We appreciate it. And if you want to talk to us, just talk to us there in the chat. We'll talk back. As long as, it's about AEW or, well, yeah, keep it about AEW. We try not to talk about that other company at all, if we can help it. And, yeah, just be a nice person. Don't act like a jerk if you're going to be in the chat. Because if you act like a jerk, you're going to get kicked out and banned. So just be nice. And, all right, I'm going to get started. We're going to talk about the television this past week in AEW. So we'll start off the September 11th version of AEW Dynamite. Where were they? Do you remember?
No.
Was this the one that was in
Ohio, maybe.
Dayton, maybe?
Yeah, with the thing where we thought she said something she didn't say.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were in Dayton.
Dayton, yes, Dayton. Oh no, Collision was in Dayton. I don't know. They were somewhere. Dynamite. All right. Opened up with an AEW. Hey, Steven, what's up? Hey, Eric, what's up? Got a cool game, Star Wars Survivor. I saw ads for that. Or not ads, I saw like stuff online, And that Star Wars game looked pretty awesome, yeah.
Was this when they were in Lexington, Kentucky?
I'm not sure. On the 11th, I'm not sure. Oh, Steven said Lexington, Kentucky. Thank you very much, Steven. We're very professional, as you can tell. We usually have our shit more together, but tonight we didn't, I guess. But yeah, that game Star Wars Survivor it looked pretty awesome. We don't have any of the current systems. I got a bunch of the other systems, but yeah, none of the current ones to be able to play that. I get the newest system we have is the Xbox One. So, and I'm sure they didn't make that game with the Xbox One. It didn't. But yeah, it looked cool. So enjoy it. All right, Dynamite on the 11th. Started off with a TNT title match. Jack Perry of the Elite, showing up in his Doom Mobile or whatever it is, and defending his belt against Lio Rush for some reason. Nothing against Lio Rush. I think he's a terrific wrestler, but TNT title shot. Why? No real reason for that. And Rush was accompanied by Action Andretti, and the referee actually kicked Action Andretti out of ringside, even though he did nothing. It was kind of a weird spot for the match. Like I said, it was kind of a weird match to have, but they fought, and Jack Perry pinned Rush after a knee strike, and then he left and got in his Doom Mobile and drove away. And it was decent. 3 bones out of 5. Nothing, no big deal. Nothing at all. Steven said really rushed in these matches. Yes. Yeah, they did. That match was rushed. Yeah, it wasn't much of anything, like I said. Up next, we had an awesome match. I thought it was going to be good, but I didn't realize quite how good. And here's Kay Fabulous, the
Hey,
hostess
guys.
with the mostest.
Sorry. Life, you know?
She's
It
here.
happens.
But yeah, we had a match that I had no idea how good it was going to be, and that was Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champ Sammy Guevara. You know, half of the champions, Sammy Guevara, taking on the newly AEW acquired Ricochet.
I'm sorry. How did you not know that this was going to be an awesome match?
Well, no, I said I knew it was going to be awesome. I just didn't realize how awesome it was going to be.
Oh,
That's
I
that's
see.
what I was saying.
I got you. I got you. Okay.
But yeah, it was fucking awesome. They were flipping all over the place and flying everywhere, and Sammy, who can be wild sometimes, was pretty controlled and hitting his stuff. And the fans at one point were even chanting "Flip forever." It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, good match. Well, great match. Like I said, Ricochet pinned Sammy after the Vertigo and got the win. And this one, 5 bones out of 5. Great match. Yeah, Steven says good match. Sammy and Ricochet. Yeah, like I said, great match. 5 bones out of 5. I can't say anything to make it better. That was the match of the night on Dynamite, and I'll just go ahead and tell you that was the match of the week
Oh, yeah,
in
it was.
AEW.
Yeah.
Definitely, it was Sammy and Ricochet. Great match. Yeah, so I'm so excited Ricochet's here. Steven says won't be surprised if it's Osprey versus Ricochet for Wrestle Dream. Yeah, I'm hoping. Well, yeah, I'm hoping. Which I'm just saying, Osprey and Fletcher have the tag title shot at
Oh.
Grand Slam coming up. Yeah, so I don't know if they win the belts, that'll change their plans for Wrestle Dream. You know.
I don't think they're winning those belts, babe.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're. Yeah. But yeah, Wrestle Dream. Can't even look at that yet because we got Grand Slam coming up with big matches. Did you get the Dynamite matches?
Mm-hmm.
Will you get the Grand Slam matches too, please? Thank you. Sorry. But yeah, I'm so glad Ricochet's here. He's one of my favorites, and he's going to be a breakout star in AEW. You know, now that the shackles are off, he's going to go wild and do the shit that made him famous before he was in WWE.
Let's use the word tether.
Before the tether was off.
Yeah.
I see. Nah, I like shackles. But yeah, Ricochet's gonna be a breakout star. I'm sure of it. Up next, we had a women's world title eliminator match. We had Mariah May, the Glamour, taking on Queen Aminata. And of course, eliminator match. If the challenger, it's a non-title match. If the challenger wins, they get a title shot. And this was a good match. Good match here. Two ladies' styles. They worked well together, I thought. At one point, though, Queen Aminata did dump Mariah May right on her head with a DDT. It looked painful. I'm not sure whose fault that was, but it didn't look good. It looked like it really hurt. But Mariah May, eventually she got the win. She hit the Storm Zero, Tony Storm's finisher, the pile driver, and pinned Aminata. And of course, Tony Storm's still apparently in Australia or something, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, good match, 4 bones out of 5. Here, Steven says, looks like Mariah versus Mina. Are you talking about for like Grand Slam, maybe? Or, well, Mariah said she wants Mina.
I thought she just meant she wanted her there for her celebration.
That's what I thought. She wants her there for herself, yeah, not necessarily to fight her.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that'll eventually happen. But I think initially it's to celebrate with her and then be her, like, supportive love bunny or something like that.
Yeah. Well, okay. I think you've hit the nail on the head with the love bunny there.
Yeah.
Steven says she's having Mina withdrawals. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the way it came off. That's definitely the way it came off. So we'll see what's going on there. And if Mina eventually ends up wanting a title shot or what, um, who knows? But yeah, the women's division just keeps improving. We keep getting new people developing, like Queen. Pardon me, like Queen Aminata. Um, and of course keep getting new people like Mariah May coming into the division, like Camille, like Mercedes Moné. I mean, it's just it's really poised to be um the best women's division in the history of North America, I would say. Um, so yeah, I'm interested to see how they keep going with it. Um, After that, we had a trios match. We had the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho, along with the Redwood, Big Bill, and the Bad Apple, Brian Keith. And I don't know who's fuck is coming up with these nicknames, but I like it. I like them. They're silly. But so yeah, decent match actually. They took on the Iron Savages, and if you've seen the show, you know I hate the Iron Savages. I'm not going to go through it. Um, let's see, Steven, I think does not. Yeah, he does not like the Learning Tree. It's a yawn. It's a yawn face. Yawn emoji. It was funnier at first, but now they've gone kind of vicious with it, and so I like that. Um, but yeah, I'm not bored with it, but I could understand if it's not engaging for everyone. Yeah, for sure. Um, but I think they could make it more engaging. At first I thought it was going to be Chris Jericho. We were going to get these vignettes, with Chris Jericho like really teaching lessons to these wrestlers. Whether it's in the ring or out of the ring or whatever. I thought we were going to get Chris Jericho kind of as like a teacher, a kung fu master, that kind of deal. But that's not what it's become. It's just Chris Jericho with a couple bad guys supporting him, and and then some positive words every now and again. So I still enjoyed it, but like I said, it wasn't what I was expecting.
I do really appreciate the new aspect to Big Bill's character where he's like suddenly very philosophical
Yeah.
and telling us like a random quote
Yeah.
that relates to whatever situation the Learning Tree is currently facing. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Um, Yeah, Steven says Iron Savages need to add a boost to their juice. Ugh, they need to just go away.
Yeah, I'm for going away.
And Steven Chambers, he wants Jericho to go away. He says Jericho needs some time off. I could understand people feeling like that, but him being a little overexposed. We have people like MJF and Swerve taking time off. Presumably because they don't want to get overexposed. Maybe Swerve, MJF's thing was an acting thing. But I think that's what used to happen back in the territory days. Is say whatever. Say you're Rowdy Roddy Piper. You go and you fight in Oregon for 2 months, and you go through an angle, and maybe you win a belt. Maybe eventually you lose a loser leaves town match, and then you're out of Oregon. So then you go down to the Carolinas and Georgia, and you wrestle there for 3 months and etc. And then you go to the Midwest, and then you go up to New York, that territory. But so wrestlers, would change territories, every several months, um, so their act didn't get stale, so they didn't get overexposed. Um, and this is back when, the wrestling matches would be like once a week, not, 2 and 3 shows a week. But yeah, so that's what used to happen, and AEW does that a little. They will, kind of take people out of the mix on TV, and kind of give them a break. But yeah, that's what used to happen back in the day, and maybe they should consider doing some more of that, and then maybe people like Steven wouldn't, feel like they just have had too much Jericho. I don't know. Steven says, congrats to Big Bill, 5 years sober. Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think part of his firing from WWE what I read at least, allegedly, he got like really drunk or on drugs or something. He was messed up on a flight. Right, it wasn't a flight or a bus trip, some sort of transportation, and he was making an ass of himself, and that's how he ended up getting fired. And that that's a shame. But now he's in AEW, so maybe they'll make something out of him. I like Big Bill very much. Stephen Chambers says, I like Jericho. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not digging the learning tree gimmick. I hear you. I got you. Eric Tate says, is AEW going to Fox? So we don't know for sure, but it looks like it. Yes. It looks like they'll have one show on Fox. Is what I've been reading. I've been hearing.
A new show.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, people's guess have been AEW Shockwave, which they trademarked. People think that's going to be the Fox show, and it could be on Fox. It could be on Fox Sports 1. That's their number one cable channel. So it could end up there, or could end up just on Fox. And I think it'll end up on Fox, as they're dropping SmackDown, and so they're not paying as much for. They won't be paying as much for AEW as WWE wanted. So they get the same kind of product in their eyes for cheaper. So I think they may end up on like the actual Fox network.
And that's not
one show.
cable, right? That's like regular TV.
Right. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like how much AEW's audience can grow with that?
Yeah,
that's
that'd
very
be great.
cool.
Yeah, because if people just have regular TV, never seen AEW,
Yeah.
if that's all they watch, which
Is
a
that a
lot.
thing still? Regular TV?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You got to have the box. You used to have to have an antenna.
Antenna,
It's called
yeah.
antenna TV, but now you got to have some sort of box that converts it. But yeah, free. Oh yeah, we pay for the airwaves we pay for the airwaves for like ABC and NBC and CBS and Fox to exist, and PBS and all those other channels. Like 15 religious channels and whatever the hell else. But yeah, so.
Is there a way we can stop paying for those to exist?
Stephen Chambers says, hearing Fox Sports 1. Yeah, that's what I was hearing. But like I said, I thought about it, and I think maybe it'll go to Fox. And, because like I said, they wanted something like that, which is why they had the rights to SmackDown. But now they're going to get it for cheaper, get a better product, honestly, but, a cheaper product, a less popular product for now,
It's for more mature audiences.
Yeah.
It can help elevate their evening programming.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up just on Fox, the regular network. But we will see. We will see. Steven says depends on the time slot. Yeah. Everything depends on the time slot. Yeah, Fox shows AEW. I would say definitely don't put it on Friday like SmackDown was. Like, if you're trying to get 18 through 49, Friday night is not the time to get them.
Well, they got to put something there, and they're always trying to get 18 to 49. So where are they going?
Well, not wrestling, not on Friday night. Anything else, any other night, Monday through Thursday. One of the if they're gonna do it during the week, do one of those. But yeah, we'll see. But it seems like the Fox show would be this is what everybody's been saying. Who knows how much truth there is to this, but it seems like the Fox show would be like the number 3 show. And some people said it might even be a highlight show for what happened on TV that week, which I think would be a good idea for them.
I think that would be a great idea.
Just taking the best of AEW and showing that to people on Fox or Fox Sports 1, kind of as an hour-long advertisement. Look how awesome we are. I think that would be a great idea to do that. And maybe throw in like one new match, or something like that, 2 new matches.
Or especially like if it does go to Fox, maybe start out the show as that, like a few weeks of like AEW highlights, and then launch a new like actual program after like a month, so you can show people what you got, and then they can start in with like fresh, the beginning of stories,
Yeah, I guess would be wise. But we're going to talk about all this
Yeah.
later. We've gotten into the conversation a little earlier than I wanted to. No, that's fine. People were asking.
Yeah.
And Steven says compete with NXT on Tuesday. Why not? You know, why not? It'd be better for the wrestling world as a whole if we don't have them competing. So that way people can watch whatever they want to watch live. Personally, it's fun when the companies compete, but it's not so fun when the shows compete, because then when you're watching them live, you're gonna miss something. You never know what you're gonna miss, because that was back in the day when Nitro and Raw were on at the same time. Like, I wish I'd had two TVs, because I was just constantly switching back and forth to make sure I wasn't missing something on the other channel. It was maddening.
Oh, well, and now there's no last button on remotes anymore.
Oh, right.
You gotta go to 4 different things before you can watch the other show.
That's true.
Or I guess you could put it on your computer and on the TV.
Yeah, compete on NXT. Yeah, like I said, why not? I just for the people who watch everything, I think they'd rather have it not be on at the same time as NXT. So
the competition does push a better product from everyone.
Yeah, but we can have the competition without the shows being on at the same time. So.
I think that ups the level of competition significantly.
And I also don't think they're competing so much.
Yeah.
It's so different.
Yeah.
It's so different. It's like, they're not trying to beat AEW at what they do, and AEW isn't trying to beat WWE at what they do.
Although Cody did Blade after
That's true.
what was it, after All Out?
I mean, a little, sure, but I mean, the products are so different.
Yeah.
I feel like they're not even competing.
And I don't want them to compete, because I don't want AEW to take really any steps towards what WWE is. No offense to you if you watch WWE, but I just don't enjoy that product, and I love that there is an alternative.
Mm-hmm. And just to show you, Matt Riddle, very very skilled, very talented wrestler. Just this week, it came out AEW has no interest in Matt Riddle. So AEW knows their audience, I think.
I don't know that.
Yeah,
he's good.
He is good. I mean,
just the personality, or the
I think just the personality. Yes, I think that. But I don't know. I say take a chance on the guy.
Yeah,
He's a very good wrestler. They could add him to the fold. Why not? Steven says, or wait until January, whenever Raw goes to Netflix. I don't know what we're talking about there. And he says, put AEW there.
on Monday.
Like on Monday or something. Is that what you're saying? But yeah, we're going to talk about all this TV stuff later. We're going to get into it later, a little deeper. But back to the TV recap. Where was I? Bad Apple, they beat the Iron Savages. Jericho pinned Jax Jameson after Brian Keith hit the diamond dust on him, and then Jericho came and put a boot on him and pinned him. Good match, surprisingly.
Did you just compliment the Iron Savages?
Kind of. 4 bones out of 5. So the highest I've ever given an Iron Savages match. It was a good match. And then to close out Dynamite, we had a tag team casino gauntlet match where the winners get the World Tag Team title shot at Grand Slam on the 25th. It had a bunch of teams. It had FTR, Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay, The Righteous. It was good to see them. The Undisputed Kingdom, The Acclaimed, MXM Collection, Top Flight. So it was pretty good selection of teams. And this match was what?
The Outrunners.
Were they in the match?
I'm pretty sure.
I might have left them out. I'm not sure if they were in the match.
I didn't. I stopped writing after The Righteous because I got so into the match that I couldn't look away long enough to write notes. But I'm pretty sure they were.
I think they were.
Yeah,
I think they were. You're right. They were in the match. Yeah, my bad. I think that may be the only team I missed.
It's always worth mentioning the Outrunners.
Oh, definitely. They're really taking off. It seems that act is really taking off, and I hope so. Yeah. Promote it.
Yeah.
Push them to the moon.
Yeah. Hope their jobbing days are over.
Yeah. So Steven says, "What's in that coffee?" Just coffee. Just coffee here.
Mine has powdered.
I don't know about hers though.
Hey, it just has sugar-free powdered creamer because that's how I roll.
He said, "Yep, Outrunners in that match with a huge pop." Yeah, they did. I forgot about that. But yeah, their pops just keep getting bigger, and they keep doing these silly videos, and they're pretty funny. I think, and they're good in the ring too. So yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving the Outrunners run here. But yeah, it was a very fun match, and overall, I thought Dynamite was a really good show.
Finally.
Yeah.
They'd had some duds.
Yeah.
The last several weeks, so it was nice. We had more than 4 matches.
Mm-hmm. We had, how many did we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches.
But one was a gauntlet match, so
right.
that counts as more than one in my opinion.
Yeah.
And we would have had 5, but then when Moxley and them beat up the people who were supposed to be in the match, they canceled it.
Would have had 6, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Fletcher and Ospreay won the gauntlet. Ospreay hit Dante Martin with the hidden blade, and Fletcher then pinned him. So Fletcher and Ospreay get a tag title shot against the Young Bucks at Grand Slam. So can't wait to see that.
You know what I'd like to see?
What?
I would like to see, after they continue to have more. I don't think they're going to win the belts, but I want them to continue to have success as a tag team.
Mm-hmm.
But then I want Mark Davis to show back up and it to cause a rift.
Cause a rift. Oh.
A rift.
Okay.
Yeah. I just really want Aussie Open to be back together. I mean, I'm glad that Fletcher and Ospreay are tagging, but Ospreay's too good to be focusing on tag team wrestling.
Yeah.
I think actually Fletcher might be too at this point, but I love Aussie Open so much that I don't care. I want them to come back.
Yeah, if you're out there, if you don't know who she's talking about, Mark Davis is Kyle Fletcher's teammate in Aussie Open. They came to AEW, but they weren't there long before Mark Davis got injured.
Yes, they were.
Were they?
Yeah, they had the tag belts from Ring of Honor.
I feel like they weren't there that long. Well, anyways, that's where his tag team partner has been. He's been injured.
No, he's actually better, but he's been taking personal time for personal issues.
Oh, you're right. Thank you. Thank you for correcting me.
Yeah, he had broken his wrist. But then after that, Kyle Fletcher gave an update that he was all physically healthy, but needed some additional time, and he just wishes his friend a good, healthy opportunity to come back soon. I don't know how you say stuff like that, but that's not how he said it.
Wishes him well. Wishes him well, you say.
Yeah. Thank you.
Steven says, heard their merch is selling great. Talking about the Outrunners, I'm sure. Yeah. Last week they had the number 3 selling shirt on Shop AEW.
Yeah. Well, really, it was the number 4 selling shirt. But 3 of those other shirts were Ospreay shirts. So I'm just gonna. Oh wait, no, it was 2 Ospreay shirts, and then they do a grab bag where you pay less money, but you don't know what shirt you're getting. That's almost always number 1 in the merchandise selling spot. And then there were 2 Bruv shirts, and then there was a Jamie Hayter pre-order for her little stuffed doll they were making. And then was the Outrunners shirts.
So what? Now you put it down to 5th or 6th.
Well, but I don't count that first one. So 2 Outrunners.
If we're just looking at shirts, it was 4th.
If we're just looking at shirts, it was 3rd.
After
okay. 2 Ospreay.
We're just talking about shirts. Yeah. We're just talking about t-shirts. That's what I go by. Gotcha. T-shirts usually. Yeah, that $9 thing. I mean, that's a good deal, but it's you're gonna pay $9 and they're gonna send you a fucking Harley Cameron shirt. Yeah.
I like Harley Cameron.
I like it too, but I don't want a t-shirt. Steven says he was really surprised Ospreay and Fletcher won. I was too. I didn't feel it coming.
I felt it. I felt it coming in my bones. Because either Mark Davis is going to come back, which I don't think is what's going to happen, or this is going to rip off the scab of the issues between Don Callis and Ospreay with Fletcher.
Okay.
That's what I think. I think if they lose to the Young Bucks, which I think is going to happen, I think Callis is going to blame Ospreay. That's my guess. And something bad will happen.
And maybe we end up with an Ospreay and Fletcher match. Something like that.
I want a feud, a long feud.
Yeah.
With emotional like you used to be my brother kind of talks, you know?
Yeah, I could be with that. Yeah.
Not like really long because I don't like that much talking, but impassioned.
Yeah.
I think it could be interesting.
Definitely seeing those two in a feud. Yes, would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Ooh, and especially if the Callis gang starts ganging up on Osprey, and then he and Ricochet team up to like help defend Osprey, you know, that'd be cool.
Hey, now you're fantasy booking.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Steven says Fletcher turning on Osprey. Is that your prediction for what you think is coming up? Comic Book Bob says, I honestly wanted the Outrunners to win, but I'll take Osprey Fletcher as long as someone takes the belts off the Bucks. Tag division is DOA right now. A little, but they're bringing it back. They're doing a good job of bringing it back to life. I mean, in this Casino Gauntlet match, I thought was a good step in the right direction. Yeah, it was a great match, and really displayed what talented teams they do have.
Yeah.
So
because I think a lot of people are feeling that way.
Yeah.
But in the last like week or two, I feel like they're kind of trying to show us that it's not really dead. It's really just the team at the top that's currently dead because they're not wrestling. But at least we know we're going to have a match, September 20, what day is that?
5th.
5th?
Well, the Young Bucks are fighting tonight. Yeah.
Who are they fighting tonight?
A
three-way match.
Yeah.
I mean, a trios match.
Trios match, yeah. We'll talk about that later, too. Steven says, really hoping the grizzled young veterans win. And Comic Book Bob, they've got 3 new teams to showcase, and AEW still has the best tag division in the business. Yes, they do. They just need to get back to showcasing tag team wrestling again. Yes, exactly. Right.
100% agree.
Yeah, it's not that they don't have the people, right? It's just they don't do it. They need to do it. I agree. And I love tag team wrestling, yeah, personally. And I'm really glad that, the way AEW used to do it, used to highlight it, like back in the golden days when it was like the Lucha Brothers and like Kenny Omega and Hangman Page were a tag team, and just et cetera, I mean,
I think
and Young Bucks were fighting more often,
Yeah.
and
I think the tag division is what really kind of fully pulled me into AEW because I had stopped watching wrestling by that point because I was like done with WWE, and Asa started watching AEW during the pandemic and was like, you got to see this. And I really think it was the tag team wrestling that like really roped me in and like hooked me. So I'm glad that it's hopefully making a resurgence because it's definitely been missed. But I hope it doesn't replace the trios divisions matches. Like I want just an even blend of all 3 things, like some singles matches, some trios matches, some tag matches.
Definitely. Will you make it cooler in here?
I'm freezing for real.
Really? Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're going to Rampage, Friday the 13th, Lexington, Kentucky. And I know at one point we were going to do our WCW Halloween Havoc watch along on Friday the 13th. But you probably heard I had some health problems and we postponed it. And it's going to be the 27th. And I'm going to talk more about that later.
Wait, did you say colder or hotter?
Make it colder in here, yes. I'm like over here sweating. So on Rampage, they were in Lexington, Kentucky. Started off with a trios match, the Dark Order, what's left of it. Alex Reynolds, John Silver, and Evil Uno taking on the Conglomeration, Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Ring of Honor World Champion Mark Briscoe. And this was a good match. The Dark Order, especially Reynolds and Silver, they really worked together very well. Evil Uno, I've been impressed with a couple times. Like if you remember that match against Moxley, where I think it was Uno that got all bloody and didn't his mask get ripped or something?
Yeah.
That was awesome. But I was noticing in this match, like Evil Uno wasn't even taking back bumps. He would just get hit and land on his side and kind of roll himself up. It doesn't look good when you do that. It doesn't it doesn't make the right sound, and it doesn't look good. It doesn't look right. But yeah, if you go back and watch this match, you'll see what I'm saying. But yeah, I really noticed that. And also, Evil Uno is now dressing exactly like Mankind, and I'm not with that really at all. The mask, the shirt, the tie. I mean, he's almost like ripped off the gimmick now. Really.
But he always had the mask, so really it's just a shirt and a tie. But
yeah, it's all of them together. A
agree,
mask, a shirt, a tie, yeah. Yeah, he's like ripped off the gimmick now. I think.
For a very brief period of time, all the members of Dark Order were like dressing up, or at least he and Alex Reynolds were. Can't remember if that was on Ring of Honor or if that was on AEW. But they like tried to give themselves a makeover for a little bit, and I think this is like the remnants of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stu Grayson for real.
Yeah, Steven says Miss Stu Grayson with the Dark Order. Yeah.
What's crazy is they let him go, and then they rehired him because they were like, "Oh, we fucked up," and then they let him go again.
Yeah.
I'm sure they had a reason, but it's frustrating, especially as a Dark Order fan.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I'm not sure. I feel like the second release was maybe more something that he wanted. You know, that's the impression I got. But so Cassidy, O'Reilly, and Briscoe win. This is a good match, and those three continue to be just an awesome trio. That they're so complementary to each other. Cassidy, O'Reilly, and Briscoe. It's fun to watch them wrestle because they all got different different styles. And the conglomeration, they won by pinfall after Briscoe hit a J Driller and he pinned Alex Reynolds. This match 4 bones out of 5. Good match. Comic Book Bob here. We're still listing tag teams. The Von Erichs, the Outrunners, Grizzled Young Vets, Young Bucks, FTR, Top Flight, Acclaimed, Lucha Brothers. Oh, they're going. Yeah. The Guns, BCC, House of Black, Righteous, Aussie Open, Undisputed Kingdom. The tag team division is stacked. Yes, definitely. I mean,
and I'm sure you didn't intentionally leave them off, but how can you forget the Gates of Agony? They're like 2 monsters.
Gates of Agony, yeah. But yeah, stacked, yeah. It's the best tag team division ever in the United States. I can say that for sure. Best tag team division ever. Nothing else has ever come close. So if they'll feature it more, it'll really be just awesome, like it was before. Mm-hmm. So I think they're very good about listening to their fans. AEW is, and so I think we are going to see it featured more coming up soon here.
Has there ever been a show that like features like one type of match? Like, has there ever been like a tag team wrestling show? Like, could their new show be
not that,
tag wrestling?
Not in the U.S. No.
I wonder if that people would feel that's like too samey. Too
what?
Like too similar. Like the matches would be all too similar. Like I wonder if
I don't know. I think it'd be cool if you just do like an hour.
Yeah, like an hour of like really hot tag team wrestling. And then you can really build the feuds because there's no other bullshit going on to distract from it.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. That'd be interesting. Be worth a try at least. Mm-hmm. Up next, the undefeated Camille, Mercedes Monet's bodyguard, took on Robin Renegade. Mercedes Monet nowhere to be seen. And Camille pinned Renegade after, I'm not sure what it was called, after some type of slam move. And this was a squash. And Camille stays undefeated. Up next, Roderick Strong, former international champion, took on Beef. A new guy. I don't know where the fuck this guy came from.
He's Anthony
Did they say? Anthony Henry's cousin?
Cousin, yeah.
He sucks.
Although I thought Wolf told us it was his brother, but they definitely said cousin on the show.
Well, Beef sucks. That's what I gotta say. This match, it wasn't very good. Roderick Strong pinned Beef after a high knee. I give this one 1.5 bones out of 5.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was just a mess. And Beef, he doesn't sell. All his selling was like delayed, and he wasn't, bumping right, and he's just profusely sweating. He looked like he was gonna die during the match. And I don't know what the fuck his gimmick is, and I just imagine that he smells like beef. I imagine that's his gimmick in my mind. So, yeah, it's gross.
I'm going to say some things in his defense. So, I didn't care for this match either, so I'm kind of with Asa, but I believe in giving people multiple chances to show us what they can do. Eddie Kingston is my go-to example. The first night he showed up on AEW television and wrestled, I was like, what the fuck am I watching?
Yep.
He was awful. And I was like, how did this guy make it out of the indies and onto my television.
Who'd he fight? Wasn't it Cody? Was it?
I don't remember. I think I just tried to like block most of that
He
match.
fought whoever the TNT champion was.
Oh yeah, it was Cody.
Was it Cody?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. And like Cody's really good at making people look good in matches, and so that made me like even more concerned. But that was not Eddie Kingston at his best. He was nervous. It was his like first big TV match and a big company, and so I'm gonna give Beef some more chances. Also, you talk about looking like they're like sweating to death.
Yep.
Samoa Joe, who I absolutely adore,
yeah,
looks like he's gonna like have a heart attack in 3 seconds during every single one of his matches because he's just gushing sweat
That's
constantly,
true.
like a river is flowing off of him.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna cut him some slack on that too. But keep an open mind with these new people.
Beef sucks. They can get rid of him. They got so many good people
You've
on this
seen him
roster.
once.
They got so many amazing stars on this roster. They don't need Beef.
I don't think Beef is going to be an amazing star for them necessarily. You need people to have matches that are going to lose also.
Ugh. Up next,
What if he replaced the Iron Savages? Would you take that swap?
I guess, but I mean, I don't know. They suck too, so.
Yeah, but he doesn't talk about eating ass.
Right. He doesn't talk about eating ass, so that's a step up.
Point for him.
Up next, we had a women's tag team match. Former world champion Saraya teamed up with Harley Cameron, and they took on Asa Kay and Marty Bell. And this was another squash match. Saraya pinned Kay after hitting the nightcap. That's what she calls her DDT. The main event of Rampage was pretty good. We had Konosuke Takeshita of the Callis family, and he took on Action Andretti of Top Flight, which has kind of become a faction now. I like that. And good match. I don't think these two had fought before. I hadn't seen it if they had. But yeah, those are the kind of things in AEW. It's cool. You know, you can have people, they have so many people that you can go for several months and you've never seen these people fight, you know, or a year. Fuck, they have so many people on the roster. Yeah. Could be a year or two before somebody fights another one, you know, or 3. But yeah, Takeshita won. He hit the Raging Fire, pinned Andretti. That's a spinning suplex into a Michinoku driver. And 4 bones out of 5. Good win by Takeshita here.
So I know his new finisher is cooler or whatever, but I love the Blue Thunder Bomb, and he was like one of the only people that did it as his finisher. And I'm pretty bummed that he's moved on to something different.
It's cooler. Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And it's got a cooler name.
Yeah.
Because he didn't even have a special name for his Blue Thunder Bomb. It was just a Blue Thunder Bomb.
The Raging Fire.
Yeah.
All right, and lastly on the TV report here.
Wait, do you pick a match of the night for Rampage?
Oh, sorry, I did not pick a match of the night for Rampage. Match of the night for Rampage. I'm gonna go with the trios match that started off. Cassidy, O'Reilly, and Briscoe beating the Dark Order. Good action.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there have been other. I missed all these things, all these comments. I'm sorry. I thought people would just stop commenting. I was like, that's weird. Comic Book Bob says Uno and Stu and Reynolds. Uno and Stu and Reynolds and Silver are actually good teams. Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Infantry. Stephen Chambers brings up.
Good
call,
yeah,
there's another one. Stephen Chambers says poor Robin. I'm not sure what that means. Renegade. Oh, Robin Renegade. Okay, yeah. Where's the beef? Stephen Chambers says. See, I missed all these timely jokes. Yeah. I missed them.
Sorry.
He says he has a tattoo beef on his stomach. Okay, jeez, that's weird.
Wait, so have you seen Beef wrestle before? He wasn't shirtless in this, right?
I mean, he had
like a thing on that covered his
singlet.
Stomach. Yeah.
Yeah, singlet. I think you can see his chest in this match.
We said stomach.
Oh, he did say he has a tattoo of beef in his stomach. Yeah.
And like people in the crowd were cheering for him for Beef, and so I thought maybe people knew who he was from like the Indies or something.
And Steven also said, good match, Takeshita and Andretti. Yeah, definitely. It was the best match I've seen Andretti, best singles match I've seen Andretti have in a while. Mm-hmm. And of course, Takeshita, he's always good. He's fantastic. Really. And Steven says, looks like they're slowly building Andretti leaving Top Flight.
I think so too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think that Leo Rush might replace him as like the third guy. Because what are you going to do with a stable of 5 people? one of whom can't wrestle with any of the others, you know? I just think it makes more sense
Well,
to.
you just described D-Generation X, one of the most popular stables of all time.
I did not like them, and I did not watch them.
I'm
So,
I'm just saying. You said, "What are you going to
yeah.
do with a stable of 5 people? One of them can't wrestle with the others." That was DX.
But didn't she wrestle with them sometimes?
Eventually,
Yeah.
or eventually,
But, like,
she wrestled
Layla
with the
Gray's
men.
not going to hop in the ring with the men at any point
Yeah, true.
soon, anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they just need to do. They just need to do something with them. Like, I keep thinking that it's going to be Top Flight's time and their moment,
Mhm.
and then it keeps not being it. So,
We'll see.
if they're not going to fix it, I want Action Andretti to be able to do more stuff by himself.
Yeah, I mean, well, we got the beginnings of their seeing their personalities
Yes,
this
finally.
week.
Yeah.
Who was it? Andretti.
Andretti,
Everyone
yeah.
got mad. You got upset. Yeah. So well, let's see where they go with that. And like I was saying, they need to do more of those kind of little vignettes. I mean, that took us 90 seconds, and now we know more about the personalities of that group than we've ever known before.
Yeah.
It took us 90 seconds.
Yeah, I told Asa, like, the most I've known about Action Andretti before that moment was that he can drink a bottle of water really fast, which, like, is not a very interesting thing to know about someone as a wrestler.
Mm-mm. Sorry I missed all those comments. Sorry about that, guys.
Do you want me to tell you
I'll
when I
be
see
more
them?
on it now. Huh?
I said, do you want me to tell you when I see them? Because before you had instructed me not to let you know when there are comments,
No,
but if that happens, okay.
I mean, if I am way behind like that, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Because, sorry, guys. I was just missing those. I wasn't ignoring you.
You were in the reporting zone.
No, I had my. No, I was just missing them.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And Steven said he fizzled since beating Jericho. Yeah, that was such an awesome beginning because everybody was like, "Oh, this, here comes a win for Jericho," and then he shows up and he's got all these awesome moves and wins, and you think he's going to be this new star that they've just built in one night, and which he could have been. Yeah. But then they booked him in total obscurity after that.
Well, it also would have made sense for him to have some kind of feud with Jericho after that embarrassing defeat for Jericho. And they didn't do that either.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been a good opportunity to give him some other big name matches.
Steven said he's fired. Are you talking about Andretti? What are you talking about?
You, probably, with your lack of...
I'm fired? I see. Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. No, it got stuck on comments higher, so it wasn't scrolling when new comments came. Where was I? Collision. September 14th. Me, I got it, Steven. Thank you. Collision, September 14th. Started off with another TNT title match. Jack Perry putting his belt on the line the second time this week. And for the second time against a competitor who probably didn't deserve a title shot. He took on the fallen angel Christopher Daniels, who hasn't been in a match since May. So why he got a title shot, I don't know. They did not explain that.
Yes, they did. They explained it on Rampage.
What'd they say?
On Rampage, Christopher Daniels talked about it and challenged Jack Perry to a match for his belt.
What, did I miss that?
Apparently.
Apparently.
I was only half listening because
Okay.
I'd already watched Collision at this point, so I knew what was going to happen. So I was like, I don't need to pay attention to this. But I think it was like something about like the Elite with the EVPs, like trying to take over the company, and he's still got power or something like that. So he was going to issue a challenge since Perry didn't seem to want to wrestle. None of the Elites seemed to want to wrestle, really.
Okay. All right. Well, I get it then. But he should be able to just give himself a title shot. Yeah. It was strange. And this one never really got, it's like the match started in the middle or something. They never really got like hooked up, going together at this. Nobody did anything bad. It was a little awkward. And just Daniels can't wrestle the style he used to wrestle anymore. So now he wrestles this style that just really, it doesn't fit him.
Well,
it doesn't.
He's been wrestling as a tag team for as long as I can remember recently in AEW.
Who are you talking about?
Christopher Daniels.
Oh, yeah, but years ago, he was like a huge single star.
No, I know that, but I'm saying, like, even before he stopped wrestling, since the EVPs initially fired him or whatever,
Yeah.
for like a year prior to that, almost all of his matches were tag matches, so he was
Yeah.
only doing half the work essentially, you know? So I think maybe he just needed some practice with singles matches before being thrown into a title match.
Definitely. Yeah, Kazarian back in the day, Steven says, yeah, he was with SCU when it was Kazarian and Scorpio Sky won the first. They were the first tag team champions. Isn't that weird?
Wait, Christopher Daniels was with them?
Yes.
I didn't realize that was him. I thought it was someone who I just didn't remember.
No, Christopher Daniels. What a strange gimmick. And like, where's Scorpio Sky? He just pops up every now and then to remind us he's alive.
It was like in the last 2 months, he's had one like video package.
Yeah.
But then he hasn't shown up since then, and that was like a month ago or so, right?
Yes. Yep.
Weird.
So who knows what's going on with Scorpio Sky? All right, TNT title match. So Jack Perry, he ended up beating Christopher Daniels. He hit that running knee move he's been using and pinned him. A decent match, wasn't much of anything. 3 bones out of 5. Up next, we had a very good match. We had a trios match with the Ring of Honor World Champion Mark Briscoe teaming up with Kyle O'Reilly and the undefeated, phenomenal Hologram. And they took on an interesting trios team. 2 of the premier athletes, Tony Nese and Aria Davari. Aria? Okay. And the Beast Mortos was their partner. They said they hired him for the night. That's pretty cool. I love the Beast Mortos. And they were accompanied, of course, by Josh Woods and Mark Sterling. And this was a fun match. You know, all these conglomeration trios matches are good.
Yeah.
They're fun matches. You know, they know how to get the audience into the match, and like, you know, and also that gets us into the match at home. I mean, but they're really good at getting the live audience into the match.
Especially like they're especially good now that Ishii has been kayfabe injured.
Yeah.
So that
he doesn't slow it down.
Yeah.
We're not big Ishii fans here. Sorry if you are. Well, I'm not sorry. Actually, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not sorry. Where was I? Briscoe, O'Reilly, and Hologram got the win. Hologram pinned Tony Nese with a weird spinning pin move, is what I wrote down. Don't know the name of it. That did not catch the name. But Hologram has always looked great. You know, if you watch this show, he's like one of my favorite wrestlers now. Definitely.
I'm gonna make you a little pendant that's like on a stick.
Yeah.
That you can wave whenever you mention your favorite wrestlers that you like are just a big cheerleader for, you know?
Okay, that would be fun.
Yeah.
I want like a series of pendants.
Yes. Yeah.
Pendants.
What did I say?
Pendant.
Oh, I always say it wrong.
Pendants.
Yes, you know what I mean.
Series of them?
Yeah.
I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
If I can figure out a way to make holograms holographic, I will try.
Like a hologram one and an El Hijo del Vikingo one.
Let's make sure he's coming back to AEW before I make that.
And Osprey one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe
Ricochet one, yeah.
I know your dudes.
Yeah, good. Like I said, just a very good match, fun match. 4.5 bones out of 5.
And it seems like they're going to be feuding, right? Like that's the impression you got. Beast Mortos and Hologram.
It feels like they already have been feuding.
No, but
to
I think
me,
it's going to get like bigger.
I hope so. I mean, I hope that's for Hologram's first kind of story in AEW is, you know, to. But see, I think he's already beaten the Beast Mortos in a singles match.
Yeah.
So
that was like one of his first matches.
Right. So if he comes back and beats him again, how much does that really mean, you know?
Well, yeah.
I mean, it may not mean much. We would get a series of awesome matches, though.
How do you do a feud with 2 characters that don't talk, that don't have managers?
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's
I just thought of that.
That's tough. Because usually you have at least one
Mm-hmm.
that'll speak or has a manager.
Yeah.
I mean, the easiest way, just put them in the ring and fucking put on a great match, you know?
Well, I'm fine with that, but people who are always like, I need a story,
even people who don't want a story, they still like their wrestlers to talk,
Mhm.
which is why like people like I don't care particularly, but that's why people like Eric Bischoff, would always say, oh no, it wasn't Eric Bischoff. There was a quote. Who the fuck was it? God damn it! It was somebody. Oh, Vince Russo. That's why like people like Vince Russo, would say that Mexican wrestlers wouldn't get over in the U.S. Because they can't talk to us. And he was like, I wouldn't put a Mexican wrestler as the headliner of my show. I wouldn't put who else was it? I wouldn't put a Japanese wrestler as a headliner. That's my Vince Russo impression. Uh,
It's just as detestable as Vince Russo, so good job.
yeah, so that's what he said. Because they don't speak the language. He doesn't think they can get over, which is we've seen time and time again, totally wrong.
Well, and some of them speak the language because you don't have to be from America to speak English.
Right. But like we've seen that so many times. Like people who don't speak the language get over. Like Yoshihiro Tajiri, if you remember him, killer in ECW and WWF. Who else?
Well, even Penta and Ray, like they
All the
spoke
luchadors,
English.
all the fucking luchadors, except like Conan, Ray, and Eddie.
Mm.
They talked, but none of the others got to, or they couldn't. Like Silver King, the Villanos, Juventud Guerrera.
La Parka didn't talk, did he?
La Parka did not talk. Just all those great luchadors WCW had. I know I left a bunch off just now, but those were just the ones that came to my head first.
Did Yokozuna talk? I know he's not Hispanic.
No.
Okay.
No.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, Yokozuna. There's
So,
a good
yeah,
example.
There's like a great history of awesome wrestlers who didn't talk.
Well, but he had Jim Cornette to talk for him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you just give him a good manager and go with it.
Let me see. He says, "Who's that Vince Russo character, bro?" he finishes. I don't know if you know. He finishes like every sentence with "bro." Imagine Russo and Riddle having a conversation. Imagine how many times they would say "bro." That's funny. That's Stephen Chambers said that. That's funny.
Slightly unrelated, but this is like a dress-up week at school, and today you would like dress up with your friends, like wearing similar outfits or whatever. And a huge group of girls dressed up as frat boys, and they sat in my room for lunch, and they were like pretending to be frat boys, and they said "bro" so many times that I like wanted to die. It was like. And it was like a group of like quiet girls who would like never bother anyone. And I was like, oh my God, stop saying bro. But it was fun.
That's the vernacular.
Yeah.
Can I get some
coffee
and a water, please?
Yeah.
Mouth is dry. Yeah, Russo. It's weird with Russo because a lot of things, like he didn't seem like a good person. He says he's a different person now. He says he was saved by Jesus Christ, and that made him a better person. And I don't know. I've never met him. Who knows? Maybe it did. I hope it did. But he didn't seem like a good person when he was with WCW. But he put out some really interesting television. Like, it wasn't always good. It wasn't always bad, but it was definitely interesting. Like, you legit, and I'm talking about this WCW run, not WWF. Like, you legit did not know. You turned on Nitro, and it's like, who fucking knows what's going to happen tonight? Anything could have happened, They could have a Judy Bagwell on a pole match. They could have Goldberg punch through a fucking limousine window. They could have David Arquette win the goddamn world title. Well, then, get me some water.
No, it's water. I just got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with the storm water, they put extra chemicals in our water supply when we have big rains, and so it smells really bad to me.
Anyways, yeah, Vince Russo, interesting character for sure. Gave himself the world title eventually. WCW world title holder. He says, wasn't a nice guy in TNA. Russo turned me down for a photo op. Oh, damn, I'm sorry. Was that like you were a fan at a show?
I didn't know Russo was in TNA.
I forget. Yeah, I was kind of out of wrestling for a couple years, and those were the years that TNA was a big thing. Like, I was in college, I think, and I didn't have time to watch anything, any TV.
It was before I got into wrestling.
Yeah, but yeah, I wasn't. Yeah,
I watched
So
like the death throes of televised TNA.
yeah, I don't know anything about TNA. Yeah, I mean, very little, I should say. But yeah, but Russo, when he was given full control over WCW back in like '99, it was just so interesting to watch shows. Just if you haven't seen them, they're on the network on Peacock. Starting around like just look it up online. Starting around like October 24th or 25th of '99, they are very interesting to watch to see. Like 2% of the matches went over 10 minutes. Most of the matches were 3 minutes or under, and then they kept cutting back to things backstage or things elsewhere. You know, he had them bury Ric Flair in the desert, and just et cetera, et cetera. They're fucking crazy shows.
I hated it.
Yeah, you
I used to
watched
show me.
part of no, you watched part of one.
I watched the whole episode.
Which one?
I don't know. You put it on. Like there was like a million
That
animals,
was when.
filthy animals
Yeah,
matches.
yeah. Oh, right, yeah. Maybe try another
I
one.
just didn't care for the format of like super short matches.
Yeah. That was not fun.
I like wrestling in my wrestling show.
But it still is an interesting show with those characters just doing weird shit. Like I said, just doing who knows.
Yeah.
Very unpredictable.
I just needed them to be doing it for more than like 2.5 to 3 minutes. You know. Right. Moving on.
Yeah. Moving on from WCW.
Wheeler Yuta, yeah.
Huh?
Wheeler Yuta, yeah. Is that where we are?
Yes.
Okay.
1/3 of the World Trios champions, Wheeler Yuta, taking on Anthony Henry, accompanied by Beef.
Anthony Henry of the Workhorsemen.
Of the Workhorsemen, yeah. I'm trying to see how long we've gone. Okay. And we are, I haven't announced it yet. I guess people just assumed it. We are doing a watch along of Dynamite tonight. So this show, we will be done here before 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the watch along, you'll have to go to another, what is it called? Another
Link?
video, another link. So yeah, just look for us. You know, it'll be same thing. No bones about wrestling, but it'll say, you know, Dynamite watch along. Steven says Wheeler confirms that his aunt passed away before Collision. Yeah. Very, yeah. He was very sad guy. Looking, very sad looking at Collision. Despondent, I would say.
Didn't his aunt die like before All Out? And that's why he was like so distraught with Brian being suffocated?
Well, Steven here says before Collision, but the story I heard was, well, see, maybe she wasn't dead yet, but here's what I heard: his aunt had COVID-19, and at All Out, when they put the plastic bag over Moxley's head or over Danielson's head, and he couldn't breathe, you know, and the breath just kept getting sucked in, you know, so saw the bag getting sucked in and out, and he said all he could think about was like his aunt choking to death, you know, from not being able to breathe, you know, and that was what gave him part of the emotion, and while he was, you know, acting. Yeah. in that part, and that's fucked up. Yeah. That's crazy.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, to be able to, you don't hear a lot about wrestlers channeling things. You know, you don't hear a lot about wrestlers acting processes, because I mean they have it, they have them. They may not be very complex, but they all have a process. You know, it'd be interesting to hear more about that. But so we heard that about Yuta. So I'm not sure when his aunt died, but yeah. Good wishes out to him, and you know that's always tough. That sucks.
And his family.
That stuff sucks. Yeah, and his family. Yeah, that stuff's hard. But yeah, not taking time off. Apparently, some people take time off. Some people, kind of go on with life, and it helps them. Whatever you got to do. But here, Yuta won by knockout with a submission move. That's kind of a bridging submission hold, and he with a grasp on Henry's throat, and it knocked him out. And Yuta won. This was a decent match here. Anthony Henry is good, and he looked good, but he didn't get in a ton of offense. So 3.5 bones out of 5. Just it's kind a little one sided. Now they could have had a better match. Like I said, that's nothing against Henry. It's just I grade down when the matches aren't competitive. Then I can't give them a high grade because that's the whole point of wrestling. Is to be competitive.
Yeah, if you want to see like what Henry can do, check out Ring of Honor. Like at least from like a year and a half ago, he had some really good matches, singles matches. I think he wrestled for the Pure Championship at one point. But that was when I first realized like how talented he really is and how little they let him show off what he can do.
Stephen Chambers says beef at ringside. Stupid. It's a good description. Up next on Collision, we had the trios match that was supposed to happen on Dynamite, and it happened here. It was Commander and Private Party, which is a pretty interesting team. And they were accompanied by Alex Abrahantes.
He did the dance.
He did the Private Party
It was
dance.
like my favorite thing, yes.
It was funny, yeah.
It was very entertaining.
And they took on John Cruz, Lord Crew, and Ren Jones. And it took me longer to say their names than this match was. Isaiah Cassidy pinned Jones after Private Party hit the gin and juice. Up next, we had Serena Deeb taking on the returning Yuka Sakazaki. The character in the AEW video game who everyone said, who the fuck is this? Yeah, she was around at an earlier part of AEW. Just fans who've watched maybe the last 2 years or so might not have recognized her.
I didn't recognize her.
And then she showed up in the video game. So, and that game's fun. I like that game very much. So Yuka, this was a good match here. Good match. Seeing some different styles. Serena Deeb used her stupid Paradise Lock. I hate that shit. Where she locks people up with their own limbs into a little box, and then she sits on them and is like, "Hey, look what I did!" And it's fucking so stupid.
It is stupid, but it's even stupider when she gets up and they pretend like they're still locked.
Yeah, I hate it.
Is there like a petition or something about the Paradise Lock? Ooh, that and the silly string, which I hate.
I don't mind as much. The Paradise Lock is just stupid. That's one of the things, and wrestling thing, it goes through trends. You'll see it here, and then you'll eventually see it everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And the Paradise Lock seems to be one of those things, and it needs to go away.
I've only ever seen like 2, maybe 3 wrestlers do that.
No, I think it's like a thing on like the indies, and yeah.
No.
And he says Serena needs a break. I don't know about that. Yeah, this was a good match here. Yuka won. She pinned Deeb after the Magical Girl Splash, she calls it. Good match. 4 bones out of 5. And Serena, turned heel this week.
Yes, that's what I've been asking for since I saw Serena Deeb for the first time.
So maybe maybe she'll have a revitalization of her character here,
You mean she'll get one?
Yeah, she'll get one. She'll get a character.
She'll have a personality.
Because she seems, that's what we've been saying. She seems like a heel, She seems like she would be unpleasant. And really, she looks like a witch. So all those things combined, she should be a heel, definitely.
Or an algebra teacher.
Or an algebra teacher.
She'd be the one that called your mom after like one day of not having your homework to tell her that you didn't do your work and how disappointed she is in you.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. But yeah, I mean, good wrestler, very good wrestler. So hopefully they're going to do something interesting with her. I hope. Stephen Chambers says, long overdue Serena heel turn. Yes, it is. And I keep saying, I want, she brings that flag, the Deeb Dojo. I want to see the fucking dojo. I want to see her and now she's a heel. I want to see her in the dojo, just abusing students, Come on, AEW. Yeah. It's right there. Just do it. And wait, was this the main event?
What? No.
No. I was talking about something else.
Oh.
No, okay. All right. Up next, we had the Bang Bang Gang taking on Cage of Agony, which is Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony.
Bishop Khan and Toa Leona.
Yes. And the Bang Bang Gang, of course, Juice Robinson and former World Tag Team Champions and former part of the Trios Champions, the Guns. And this was a good match here. Juice pinned Brian Cage after front chancery. That's the name of the move. Juice
What's that
Robinson.
mean?
It was it's kind of like a a front underhook kind of drop. That,
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Oh.
He does that a lot. I didn't realize that was the name of it. Weird.
But yeah, Juice was off the hook in this one. You're like dancing around and shaking his hair. His hair was particularly wild on Saturday, and just having a good time. And crowds love him, and I love him.
When they came down to the ring, before he got in the ring, he like froze in front of the camera and just like
Yeah.
just like smiled at it without moving or blinking for I don't know, like 20 seconds. Very entertaining.
So it wasn't 20 seconds.
25 minutes.
You have no conception
You
of
have no
time.
conception of time. That's true.
It was like 6 seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was funny. I like Juice, so we both do. All right, we got 2 more matches on Collision here.
He has very not exciting merchandise in AEW.
Oh, Juice?
Yeah, I looked because I wanted a Juice shirt, but
That's a shame. Yeah, AEW needs to. They have some shirts that are really cool, but they need to hire some new merch designers.
like, and I don't understand why they can't have like if you look up Dalton Castle on like whatever site sells Dalton Castle stuff, he has like 48 different shirts you can order because they're all made to order.
Yeah.
Well, all of AEW shirts that are sold from their website are made to order, so why can't they just do like a bunch of different designs? Like, it's not going to cost them that much more because they're printing them as needed. Seems like a better business decision.
Yeah, I agree.
Because some wrestlers don't have a shirt.
No, you're right. And Steven says Juice looks like he got struck by lightning with that hair. Yes, he does. Yeah,
Love it.
I love it. Yeah, it's wild. Makes me. I mean, they aren't similar in any other way, but he always makes me think of Bruiser Brody. You know, just that wild hair. All right, so we had Queen Aminata take on Robin Renegade, and this was a squash match. Aminata hit the brain drain. That's her headbutt, and she pinned Renegade. And for the main event of Collision, we saw a match that.
This was when Serena Deeb attacked Queen Aminata for the heel turn.
Right. After the match.
Yeah.
And for the main event, a tag team match that people have been waiting to see in AEW, FTR versus the Grizzled Young Veterans. And this is a pretty good match. This was, so far, I hadn't been impressed, honestly, by the Grizzled Young Veterans. Like, not saying they sucked or anything, just I've heard a lot of hype. I'd never seen them until I saw them in person, like a couple months ago. And I wasn't impressed then, and I hadn't been impressed yet. But they were good in this match against FTR. So I think we'll see. We'll see about them.
I need them to be more grizzled.
Yeah, their name doesn't fit them at all. They do not look grizzled. They look very manicured and polished. The metrosexual young vets, maybe. Not grizzled.
Well, I don't think you should use vets unless you're veterans, which maybe they're veterans, but I understand they mean like veterans of wrestling, but like that's not what that word means.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care for the name, honestly. Anyways, but this was a good match here. Dax forced Drake, that's the long-haired one, forced him to submit to the sharpshooter. It was a vicious sharpshooter, too. He pulled back on it, and looks like it hurt. And if you grew up, if you were a guy and you grew up, your friends, and you definitely tried to put the sharpshooter on each other, and you probably like hurt each other's backs irreparably. And you're not going to find out until you're 40 and your back starts hurting. You'll remember, somebody put me in the sharpshooter when I was 10 and bent me like a fucking pretzel backwards. If you're a guy out there, you know what I'm talking about.
Or a girl that grew up as a wrestling fan.
Well, I think girls are smarter and maybe don't put the holds on each other, right?
I don't know. I wasn't. I
don't know. I didn't know any girl wrestling fans growing up.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fights, and we would like really hit each other.
Oh, all right.
I mean, not like super hard. But I was also playing with boys, so I don't know if that was a girl thing or a boy thing or just a kid thing.
I see.
I liked to be April O'Neil.
You said what?
I liked to be April O'Neil.
You liked to be her? Why?
Yeah, or Michelangelo, because she was awesome. And
She was
I
awesome.
had her toy, and she has a gun in the handle of her briefcase, and I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. You just pull on the handle, and bam, she's got a gun.
I don't remember that.
I mean, I don't think I'm making it up. I think it was a real thing.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. She has a briefcase. That was like her. Maybe it was a camera, and you pulled out the handle, and it was a gun. I think it was a briefcase.
I don't remember her having a gun at all. I'll take your word for it, but I don't remember that.
I'll have to look it up to see if I'm right. I have very iffy memories.
That doesn't sound right, but we'll see. I don't remember any good guys having guns in the Turtles universe, but I could be wrong.
Maybe it came with another toy, and I just gave it to her because I thought it was awesome.
Maybe
That's very likely.
Maybe. We'll look it up after the show.
That's right. Anyway, back to wrestling.
So Steven says, check out the NXT UK matches, Grizzled Young Veterans. All right, I will. And Steven says he likes Garcia's sharpshooter better when he leans back. Yeah, I got you.
And just thinking about the Grizzled Young Veterans one more time, I actually don't think any of the 3 words in their name apply to them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, right.
Like, they are
It's just strange.
They seem kind of older as far as wrestlers go. Weird.
But they're wrestling veterans, so that fits.
Yeah, but when you abbreviate it to vets, I think war vets.
Maybe they are war vets.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But they're not grizzled, they're not young. Stupid name. We'll see. I want to see. I know people love them and say they're great, and I haven't seen the greatness yet. I've seen some goodness, but we'll see. Yeah, that was your main event on Collision. Big tag team match, and FTR looked great. And as always, we'll do the t-shirt check now. So Kay, what have you got? No wrestling shirt.
I'm wearing Inclusion is Elemental with the periodic table of elements spelling out the word inclusion because I'm a teacher. And I got home from school right before we started.
I've got a wrestling shirt. I've got my FTR Living Legend shirt. Yeah.
Wait, did you say what your match of the night was? And
I didn't. I'm sorry. Well, match of the week was Ricochet versus Sammy Guevara on Dynamite. Match of the night for Collision. Thank you for reminding me. Was the trios match: Briscoe, O'Reilly, and Hologram beating the Beast Mortos, Tony Nese, and Daivari. I really enjoyed that match. And Tony Nese is really good wrestler. He's really good. Why he's not presented as like a star, like a winning? Yeah, I can have a Tony Nese banner too.
Absolutely.
Why he's not presented as like a star, a winning wrestler, is beyond me. I don't understand it because he's very good.
I want to give an honorable mention for match of the night to the Yuka Sakazaki and Serena Deeb match.
It was a very good match.
It's one of the better women's matches I've seen recently in AEW. Not that they've been bad, but I mean, like, it was that good, I thought.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yuka's good.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that's our week in television. What's up next?
Well, did you do your fashion stuff? Oh, up next, we have Kay Fabulous with her wrestling fashion do's and don'ts. Take it away, Kay. Do.
If you are throwing your hat into the world title picture, do announce it to the world while wearing gorgeous plum and white sneakers that match your shirt perfectly, like Nigel McGuinness. I guess after I wrote this, I realized he's not actually challenging for the title. It's just he wants to kick Bryan Danielson's ass, but still kind of a title scene because, whatever. Anyway.
Do.
If you are the baddest scapegoat around, do make sure everyone knows it by sporting a black jacket with your van embroidered on the back along with flames and the quotes, blood, sweat, and fire, like Jack Perry on Dynamite.
I like that jacket, man.
It's awesome. The embroidery looks really good.
Don't.
If you are the fallen angel and are having your first singles match since God knows how long, don't show up to your match wearing a top made out of only one sleeve of a shirt and a t-shirt neckline, like Christopher Daniels. Where the fuck was the rest of his shirt? I've never seen anyone wearing it. Like, it was just like this, like this part of the t-shirt, like the
Yeah.
pre-made neckline, and then it had a long sleeve on one side attached to it. Like,
It was very strange.
what? Why?
It was strange. That's for sure.
I was not a fan.
Don't.
If you are someone formerly known as an ass boy, don't remind us of your past by wearing puffy camo Daisy Dukes like Austin Gunn during his Dynamite interview. Yeah. And that is the Switch Faction Susan notes.
Very good, Kay. Thank you. We appreciate it as always, letting us know what's in and what's out in the wrestling fashion world. If you ever find yourself near a ring, knowing what not to sport, what to sport, we appreciate it. And can you pull up the TV thing, please?
Can you be more
The
specific?
TV deal thing.
Yeah, I know I have it. Hold up. I didn't know what you meant by TV thing because I also have like multiple show cards, so I didn't know if that's what you meant. It's the AEW TV deal tab.
Okay. All right, so I want to talk a little bit, and we already talked some about it, but I want to have a planned discussion now about the AEW TV deal. And why won't this thing move? I got it. So yeah, so I'm sure a lot of you out there have heard this by now, but it looks like the AEW TV deal is done. So I don't know this John Orand or Aurand, however it's pronounced, of Puck News. Don't know who this guy is. Never heard of him. But everybody's going with him as an official source of this. So apparently he knows someone on the inside. I mean, that's what we're all taking it as. I mean, this guy is supposedly a real journalist, unlike us podcast journalists or things. We try to only bring you things that are true. We try to tell you if things are a rumor, and we try to not really spread rumors that are out there. I mean, what's the point in all that shit.
But sometimes you can't help it. Like if things aren't fully corroborated yet, or like.
Yeah, but we try and present the fact that it's a rumor.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so, but yeah, he works for Puck News. Don't know what that is either, but he says that the deal's done between AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery, and the deal is for 4 years. It's 3 years guaranteed plus an option year, and I believe the option year is for the television company. And in the ballpark, $170 million per year for AEW. So that's $510 million guaranteed. So yeah, so I think those who said AEW is dead, I think maybe we're a little fast jumping the gun there, because what they didn't think, and it is true that the attendance is a problem, is a big problem, I think, but they can fix that. But the attendance is a problem. But here's the thing: is wrestling is like such a television product. Way more people watch it on television than go to the arenas. Um, and that's another thing. It's people watch it. I mean, even when the numbers aren't amazing, they're not matching WWE's numbers. It's still Dynamite will be like number 1 for Wednesday for cable. Number 3 for Wednesday on cable. Number 4, whatever. I mean, it's the highest of the high. And think of how many fucking cable networks there are, and think of how many shows there are. There's hundreds of fucking thousands of shows. Who knows? I don't know how many shows are on cable. A bunch. So to be number 1 or 3 or 4 is pretty good. And they do well with the 18 through 49 demo, which advertisers love all that shit. And my point is that it's a television sport. It's not a live sport like the ball sports and hockey. It's a television sport, and it really always has been. Now it's fun to go to the arenas. That's when it's the best. Don't get me wrong. Don't take I'm saying the wrong thing. I just mean most of the audience is watching on television. And why I'm saying that is because, you know, this deal, they got so much money because of the ratings. The ratings are good. It's not a seasonal sport. It goes 365 days a year. And it just keeps going, as we know. That's what one of the parts of wrestling that I love. You know, it never stops. There's no off season. Just keeps going, and it's cheaper to produce than most TV shows, and especially a lot of those bigger sports shows. Because then even the fucking announcers are making millions of dollars sometimes. You know, on the TV sports shows to talk about football. Fucking god, but. Uh, But for all those reasons, that's what makes wrestling a hot commodity, and it always is. If the federation is seen as somewhat good, I guess is the best word I can use. Uh, so a company, you know, like a WCW, who was very close to getting some network deals in the past, like WWE, which a lot of people think is good. I don't particularly, but there are a lot of people who disagree with me enough that it makes it worth it to put it on television. And then AEW, which is good. You know, that's what I mean. That these larger um, companies. Um, so 170 million per year isn't really uh, out of the question. Um, and as I said, $510 million, that's quite a bit. So AEW definitely not dead. Now they just have to figure out how to get people back in the arenas, and they can do that. You know, just give away some fucking tickets. Give them to kids. Give them to.
I don't want kids.
I don't want kids there either.
What are you talking about?
Give them out on the radio shows.
Mm-hmm.
Give them out at bars.
Trivia night prizes. Bam. There you go.
There you go. Trivia night prizes, all that stuff. Any kind of promotional stuff you can do. Get the people in the arena so they can buy the food, you know, which is a big part of the arena thing. Buy the food so they can buy the merchandise and all that stuff, you know. And come back. And come back next time.
To like a product they might not be familiar with.
They got to start giving out some tickets because they book in these giant arenas and getting them a third full or something like that.
Tickets are so expensive.
Yeah.
And you have to pay like at least $20 to park.
True.
It's too much.
It's a lot, yeah. I mean, if you're going to a show, it's a fucking lot. But after all the convenience fees, it's like if you want decent tickets, if you want like 2 decent tickets, it's gonna be $150 fucking dollars by the time all is said and done.
Yeah, and that's if you don't eat anything or buy any merchandise.
Exactly. Yeah. For 2 seats, parking, and the fucking fees. Yeah. Like I said, for 2 good seats, $150 fucking dollars.
Not even like great seats, but like good seats.
Yeah, pretty good seats. Pretty good seats. Yeah. Yeah, I'm saying that because we just did that. That's why I know how much it fucking costs because we just went through that. I mean, they're lucky I really love wrestling because that's a lot of fucking money. To me, that's a lot of fucking money, you know, to spend.
You're lucky I really love wrestling. I feel like we're not spending that money on this shit, you know?
Yeah, but yeah, so they got to figure out some of their prices and getting people in the arena. Stephen Chambers here says, need to pull the plug on Rampage, replace it with either Ring of Honor or put more matches highlighting the women's division. I like both those ideas. Yeah, that's good. Okay, and Steven says, need a streaming service deal for the pay-per-views also. I was talking to Kay about this earlier. Now, I'm going to talk about that in a minute.
Well, good, because I don't remember talking to you about it, so it'll be like fresh for me.
Well, I just mentioned it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, the programming, it's going to be on TNT, TBS, and True TV, and this is what it says: TNT, TBS, and True TV twice a week. I don't know if that means it's going to be on True TV twice a week. Like the way it's written is not very clear exactly what it means.
Just because most people aren't very good at writing.
Right. Clearly. Yeah, like the punctuation, it's not really clear what that means. but it's part of Warner's strategy to make TBS and True TV more sports oriented. There was no mention of AEW pay-per-views airing on Max in this guy's report, which a lot of people thought they're going to put the pay-per-views on Max and put the back catalog of shows on there as well, which would be awesome. It'd be awesome.
Ooh, and then we could do watch-alongs of the back catalog.
Well, we could do it now for the people that
Well,
own the
Yeah,
Blu-rays.
but that's like a much smaller
True.
percentage of people.
No, we can still do it. But no, that would be fun to do. Yeah, the watch-alongs of the back catalog. Yeah, so we'll see what's up with the pay-per-views. Yeah, like Steven mentioned, yeah, we still don't know what's going on. Now they get great buy rates for the pay-per-views because everybody knows they're going to do it. They're going to do it right. They're going to do the pay-per-views right. I've only seen one show that I didn't think was good, and that was The World's End in December. Every other one I've seen has been great. Has been very good to great.
Yeah. And even that one wasn't terrible. It
Right.
just wasn't up to our AEW standard.
Right. And here Eric's saying AEW needs to go to small arenas.
I agree.
For now, at least, yeah. But see, here's the thing: is you're gonna book those places like a year out. So I think AEW, when they were booking them, they thought they were going to be growing their audience, but they've been shrinking their audience. And the ticket prices have to do with that. Have to be a bit. I mean, bring the fucking ticket prices down.
Yeah.
Steven says, I really don't see why not. Tony Khan builds his own streaming service, putting AEW and Ring of Honor together. That would be cool, but I think very expensive. And Steven says, has enough for the library. Definitely does. And I mean, I would buy that. I think a lot of people would. But I think it takes a lot of money to put together and then market and then run a streaming service.
But I mean, they already do that with Ring of Honor.
So I get what he's saying. That's true.
But what I think, like, one of the best parts of getting a streaming service deal is that your product catalog is now available to people that don't know that they like wrestling yet. Like, I think
right.
The advantage of putting it on Max is when someone like Joe Schmo is bored and like flipping through what just got added recently to Max and is like, oh, what's this? And then clicks on it, and now AEW has a new fan. Like, if it's in a insular service where it's just Ring of Honor and AEW, they're not going to get any new eyes on the product that way, most likely. So I would prefer it being like on a mainstream streaming service. I also wouldn't mind them moving Ring of Honor to a mainstream service so that you can just have one bill instead of multiple bills.
Yeah. But yeah, so again, there was no mention of AEW pay-per-views. So who knows if Warner Brothers would have the rights to the pay-per-views, if they're going to sell them to Max, if they're just going to keep the model. That's what I was bringing up, is their buy rates for the pay-per-views are fine.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, they're making money on their pay-per-views. Why mess with it? So they may just keep it how it is. Eric Tate says, can AEW do shows at Center Stage? What is Center Stage? I don't know what that is either. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Is that the Ring of Honor studio at Universal, maybe? I'm not familiar.
That was my guess, is what it means. I don't know what it means.
Because I don't know what that is.
But yeah, so the TV deal, it's a big deal. Now here's the thing: if it includes the pay-per-views for Warner Brothers to have, it's not that big an increase. But just because of the content that they would have and the kind of income that they would be taking under their umbrella.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you say?
If Warner Brothers owns the pay-per-views, like
and still sells them through pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I believe so. Okay. Yeah. If Warner Brothers owns the rights to the pay-per-views and then would sell them through pay-per-view, it's not that big of an increase for the TV rights deal. But if the pay-per-views aren't included, it is a huge increase for the TV rights. But either way, it's an increase. And either way, AEW is going to be around for at least 3 more years. So, I mean, obviously, they can go. As long as Tony Khan wants to do it, they can go. Because they've got the fucking money. Like, his family makes, they're filthy rich. disgustingly, obscenely rich. So he can do it as long as he wants to do it. Um, and then, of course, it matters, do people want to put it on television, Uh, so we'll see. We got 3 more years at least, and hopefully, the product can improve, which I think is pretty good already. Of course, you listen to us, we definitely have some ideas for improvements. Um, but I think that the core of the product is very good. Most of the performers are very good. And so now they just need to bring up the quality of the programming that they do put out. Get rid of things like squash matches. I say that all the time. It's 2024. There's no time for squash matches anymore. Get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
You can do them like at the arena. Just leave them off the TV shows. So here he said Center Stage, Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, I've heard of that. I don't see why not. Yeah.
I think if you're gonna pick like a station to kind of stay at, it's a good idea to put it in the South, just because the South has such a long history of wrestling as like part of its sort of culture. But
I think
you'd have to deal with Atlanta traffic if you wanted to go see them. That would really suck.
I think Tony Khan wants to take it to everyone, though. That's the thing. I think he wants people to be able to see their favorites live. So I think that would kind of go against, honestly, what he wants to do with the company if he just keeps it in one place.
I do think smaller venues would be smart, though.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, the stay in Texas did work out well for him, but
it says where WCW Saturday Night had their shows back in the day. Yeah. Okay, that's why it rang a bell. I knew it rang a bell somewhere in my mind. Saturday nights at 6:05. WCW Saturday nights. But yeah, like I said, I think keep it traveling. Because I want to see it.
I want to see it.
I want to see it, and I'm sure you want to see it. And if I don't know if you live in Atlanta or what, but I mean, if it's not coming to you, you're not going to get to see it. And then people in New York aren't going to get to see it, or fucking Idaho, or wherever, Kentucky. I mean, like, I want people to be able to see their favorites, because wrestling live, seeing those guys live, is so much different than seeing it on television. It's better if you have good seats. It's better. But yeah, so I wanted to keep it that way. Now, if it were just a regular business, if it weren't run by a fucking billionaire family, then definitely the smart move at this point would be to, just keep it to one TV studio, for sure. And don't tour. But as I said, they can lose the money. They can lose a ton of money, and it's nothing to them because they are obscenely rich.
Must be nice.
Yeah, must be fucking nice. And Steven's saying smaller arenas, Dynamite and Collision, bigger arenas, pay-per-views. Exactly. That's what I think. Yeah. So we'll see how it shakes out, and hopefully everybody has taken this guy, Bob Orand's word for it, and hopefully he's right. And I think he said something along the lines of, that's the official announcement is going to come like within a month or something like that.
So they must still be hammering out like.
Not according to him. According to him, the deal's done.
Why are they waiting that long to announce it then? Especially if he spoiled it.
These companies, they always want to do something and have some party and have some big announcement and whatever, and
Yeah, but they got scooped.
They want to tell it when they want to tell it.
Yeah.
So.
Don't you think Tony Khan's like, oh my God, I've been saying it's any day now for so long. Please let me say what's actually happening?
Probably, I would imagine. Yeah, so we'll see. But I'm glad. So the media rights deal, most importantly, the last thing I'm going to mention about it. So it's going to make AEW the second most successful, if you're counting money, which is how it's usually counted in the wrestling business. It'll make AEW the second most successful company in the history of wrestling, right behind WWE.
So, in America or like in general?
I believe in general. TV contracts here are way different and bigger than they are in, say Mexico or Japan or.
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, I mean, just think about it. When you're broadcasting here, you're broadcasting like 50 Japans or 40 Japans. You know what I mean?
think it's probably more than 40 or 50.
You get what I'm
I
saying.
get what you're saying, but yes.
Yeah, you're broadcasting to a huge amount of people,
Yeah.
you know, when you're in America. So our TV contracts are way higher than they are at the other places. But yeah, so wow, AEW second most. I mean, better than WCW, better than the NWA, ECW. I mean, it's a pretty historic thing to happen. So congratulations to them, and I hope it keeps going strong, and I hope they use this TV contract, as I said, to just better things, and yeah, to kind of a restart, to kind of evaluate things and realize how to better them, and take some of this money and improve your fucking sound.
My God,
Tony
yes.
Khan, if you're out there, improve your fucking sound production. But yeah, just take the money and put it where it needs to be. I mean, you got enough now, just from the business, not from your Daddy Khan. Take the money and put it where it needs to be in the company. You got enough now, and then go forward from there. So,
Daddy Con.
Daddy Khan.
Sounds like a BDSM convention.
Daddy Khan. Lord.
So can I say one more thing about the TV deal?
Yes.
So I think it's really cool. Like AEW has been around for what, like 5 years now? Is that accurate?
Something like that, yeah. 5 years, yeah.
So for their new contract to be potentially for 4 years with the 1-year extension, like that's awesome that they got a contract that's almost like doubling the lifespan of the company from its like current age. I think that's really cool.
Definitely. Real quick, I'm going to tell you the matches for tonight, and then I am going to give you the top 5, and then we're going to go because Dynamite starts at 8. Eric Tate, do you think AEW needs a reboot? Not like a whole one, but yes, in a way, yeah. That's what I hope they do with this money. Don't start from scratch or like strip the titles from everyone or anything. But like I said, just take this money and see it as a new start because it's a fuck ton of money. Just take the money and, like I said, put it where it needs to be put, and see this as a new start. And feature the women's division. Now you're gonna have 5 hours. It looks like 5 hours of television a week. Which is what they have now. But feature the women's division a little more. Feature the tag teams more. Get rid of the squash matches. Those kind of things. Like just right. It should be a soft reboot. Yeah. Evaluate the company. Keep the good. Get rid of the bad. And then realize what you need to add after that. So in that way, a reboot, yes, yeah. Oh, okay. So for Dynamite tonight, which we are doing a watch along at 8. Former world champion Chris Jericho, the Learning Tree himself, taking on former 2-time international champion Orange Cassidy of the Conglomeration. The continuing battle over his $7,000 jacket, Jericho's.
Former AEW world title holder and former FTW title holder.
True. And WWE and WCW.
They don't
champion. Only man to hold all 4 of those belts.
And former Ring of Honor world heavyweight champion.
That was
the O show. Yeah.
Only man to hold all 5 of those belts. Wow, Jericho. Never had the ECW title though. Never had that one. Yuka Sakazaki and Queen Aminata are teaming up to take on the world champion Mariah May and the newly heel Serena Deeb.
I can't wait for that match.
Sounds like a good match to me. Also, we got the Elite World Tag Team Champs Young Bucks teaming up with the Continental Champion Kazuchika Okada, and they're taking on International Champion, 2-time International Champion Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher, and Konosuke Takeshita. That sounds like a fucking awesome match. And then we're also getting the Beast Mortos versus Ricochet.
I think with Kyle Fletcher.
This Dynamite sounds awesome to me.
Oh, me too.
It sounds fantastic.
I think with Kyle Fletcher, though, you might mean former Ring of Honor television champion and former Ring of Honor tag team champion.
Well, I can't list every accomplishment that they've ever done.
Acknowledge that he's had accomplishments.
He's had accomplishments. Is that enough for me to say that?
Yeah.
Okay, he's had accomplishments. But man, Dynamite tonight sounds fucking awesome,
Mhm.
and I thought it was great last week. And yeah, hopefully they keep it rolling because these matches
Mhm.
are great. I mean, the three of these we've never seen before.
Mhm.
And then Jericho and Cassidy, I think will be good. I know there's a lot of Jericho haters out there, but I think the man can still put on a good match, and I think this match against Cassidy will be good. Will be interesting.
I
I'm
like
definitely wanting to see these other three that we've never seen before. Yeah,
I like that they're bringing up like a feud or something from several years ago.
yeah, right.
But I don't like that they're doing it with something that felt like it was already resolved a few years ago. You know, because they already had a match that they called the like $7,000 match or something like that. Like I think that was the actual name of the match because it was supposed to be for the $7,000 of damage to that hideous jacket. So it's a little confusing to me. Plus, clearly, Orange Cassidy has already paid him back by dumping like $25 worth of pennies on top of his car.
Right, that's what we were saying. When you put that change in, what time is it? I don't want to go over it.
That's yeah.
When you put that change in, they should have put in like 10 times as much change as they put in that car. I mean, they should have put in so much that the fucking windshield burst. Yeah.
Well, it was a Bentley, so I could see maybe not wanting
They
to
didn't
actually damage the car.
See, I don't know.
But they
How much is that?
I don't know.
I don't know how much it
It's one of those
is.
cars that's so expensive that like I don't know if I've seen one except for maybe like one ever on the street.
I've never seen one on the street.
Yeah. Same. I mean, but like I don't know, aim it towards. It was a convertible. The top was open. Aim it towards the not metally parts of the car on the inside. You
I'm
know.
just saying, it wasn't like the change should have been like pouring out of the car.
Yeah.
It should have been, well, let's say not 10 times. It should have been like 5 times as much change as they put in. It should have been more of a spectacle.
Yeah.
And instead, it fell kind of flat to me. Just wasn't enough of a change. Anyways, all right, now it is time for the top 5. Your AEW top 5 rankings. Every week we sweat, we slave, we argue, we punch each other, we kick each other in the shins.
Not true.
Over the rankings, and all to bring you the most accurate rankings. Even more accurate. Hey, Antonio, what's up, man?
Hey.
Even more accurate than AEW themselves. That's why they stopped doing their rankings, is because they heard about ours and they said, we don't even fucking need to do this.
Yeah, we embarrassed them.
Yeah.
And their rankings.
Right. So that's why we have it. Antonio's saying right now live. Yes, sir, we are live, and we're going to be doing a watch along at 8. It's going to be in a different link though. All right, top 5. What are we doing? Men, women, or teams?
Teams.
Top 5 teams. Number 5, down from number 3 last week. The Bang Bang Gang, the Trios team, Juice Robinson and the Guns. Number 4, back in the top 5, the Trios team of Ring of Honor World Champ Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, and the undefeated Hologram. Number 3, down 2 spots from number 1 last week, the World Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks. At number 2, making their way back in the top 5 rankings, they won that main event on Collision over the Grizzled Young Veterans, FTR, number 2. And number 1, they just became a tag team this week, and they won that Casino Gauntlet tag match. And so they get a tag title shot at Grand Slam. It's Will Ospreay, the international champion, and Kyle Fletcher. So that's number 1, Ospreay and Fletcher. Number 2, FTR. Number 3, the Young Bucks. Number 4, Briscoe, O'Reilly, and Hologram. Number 5, the Bang Bang Gang. And so Kay is not with us right now, so I'm going to do women next. Number 5, the newly turned heel, Serena Deeb. Number 4, she had a match this week. She beat a jobber. She is still undefeated, and that is Camille. Number 3, back in the top 5. She lost her eliminator match, but then went on to she beat someone. Queen Aminata is number 3. Number 2, the returning Yuka Sakazaki, who came in and beat Serena Deeb in a very good match. And so number 2, 3, 4, 5, they were all new to the rankings this week. And number 1, same as last week, the Women's World Champion Mariah May. So that's number 1, Mariah May. Number 2, Yuka Sakazaki. Number 3, Queen Aminata. Number 4, Camille. And number 5, Serena Deeb. And last but not least, the men. Number 5, one of the newest AEW additions. He is undefeated. I know he's only had a couple matches, but he's still undefeated. That's Ricochet. Number 4, he returned and has made a huge impact already. And he's facing Darby Allin for his title shot at Grand Slam. And that is Jon Moxley, former world champion, former 3-time world champion, I believe. At number 3 this week, back in the top 5, he defended his title twice this week against Lio Rush and against Christopher Daniels. And, had a pretty good showing against Danielson at the pay-per-view, but lost. And that's Jack Perry, your TNT champion, coming in at number 3. At number 2 this week, same as last week, the man who has a title shot but has put it on the line against Moxley, as I said, at Grand Slam. That's Darby Allin. And number 1, the world champion, Bryan Danielson. So that's number 1, Danielson. Number 2, Darby Allin. Number 3, Jack Perry. Number 4, Jon Moxley. Number 5, Ricochet. And those are your top 5 rankings for this week in AEW. And folks, that has been AEW Weekly for this week. We've enjoyed being with you. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Kay Fabulous is back for the end of the show, it looks like.
Yeah. Sorry, can I ask one question before we officially end it, because we have a few minutes?
Okay, what?
We didn't talk about, I guess it's not really a question. We didn't talk about the super confusing reasons why Darby is not having his title shot at Grand Slam.
Well, it's not super confusing. Just
It's super confusing.
No, it's not. Moxley came and, he's like, man, you don't deserve it. You're a punk. I'm Jon Moxley. You put it on the line. And then he was like, man, I'm not a punk. I'm cool. I'm gonna put it on the line. That's the end of the story.
No, what he started.
Yes, it is.
What he said when he first came out and started talking to Darby was, since Danielson's messed up and we don't know if he's going to be able to wrestle,
right?
Then 1, I think the title shot should be mine.
Yeah.
So you should just give it to me. And if you're not going to give it to me, then we should have a match for it.
That's what I just said.
No, you left out he said Danielson might not be cleared to wrestle.
Okay.
And then later in that same episode, Nigel McGuinness challenged him to a match at that same show.
Danielson.
Yes.
Yeah. Danielson's not defending the belt at Grand Slam.
I know, but he's still wrestling. So if he was cleared to wrestle, why couldn't Darby have his title shot?
He's not been cleared yet. The McGuinness match happens if he is cleared to wrestle.
Okay.
Yes.
That's
It's Danielson versus McGuinness in a non-title match if Danielson is cleared to wrestle.
Okay. I didn't know the if part.
And then Darby Allin putting his number 1 contender, his title shot, on the line against Moxley.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you still have Christian Cage with his contract for a world title shot anytime, anywhere, that he could show up and cash in and get a title shot at Grand Slam. So we'll see what the fuck happens. But yeah, that's what's up at Grand Slam. That's your world title picture.
There's no way for Luchasaurus to beat Christian Cage up and take that, right?
No, I think the contract is for Christian Cage. Yeah.
Bummer. Okay, now you can say goodbye.
Yeah, so that's been the show. We are doing a Dynamite watch along. As I said, we're gonna leave here. We're gonna open a new link or video or whatever you call it. So just watch for that. It'll say AEW Dynamite watch along.
If you're worried you might miss it, feel free to subscribe and turn on your notifications. So it'll pop up once our next video goes live.
For all our videos. And we are going to start doing more videos. No, we really are. We're going to start doing more videos. You'll see. They're coming this week, actually. Just doing little 5-10 minute takes on things. So you see us more than once a week talking about the news and stuff like that. So
and our spooky watch-alongs.
Spooky watch-alongs, right? We love Halloween. We love wrestling. So we put them together. Well, we didn't put them together. WCW put them together.
We're celebrating them being put together.
Right. And so October 27th, Friday night, October 27th, we're doing, September 27th.
Like, why are we
That's why
waiting
she looked at me
so
like that.
long?
Friday night, September 27th. We're doing our first Halloween Havoc watch along of the year. If you go back and look at the videos, we did several last year.
Mhm.
Feel free to go watch those. Yeah, because you can still watch along with them. Because the way it works is all the Halloween Havocs, they're on WWE Network, which is on Peacock. They're all on there. So whichever one we pick, all you got to do is open it, and then like I said, we'll come on and we'll talk about the show just a little bit before, and then we'll have a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and press play at the same time, and then bam, it's like you're watching it with us from the past. And that's what's going to happen on the 27th. So it's going to start at 7:50, 7:50. And we're going to come on, like I said, and talk about the show a little, and then we're going to start right at 8 o'clock. So please try and be there before 8 o'clock, so you can be at the same time with us. Now, throughout the show, we'll tell you where we are. We'll be like, we're at 30 minutes, we're at 40 minutes in, blah, blah, blah. So if you're off, you can catch up or whatever. But yeah, try and be there before 8 so you can, like I said, be on from the beginning with us. And it's going to be fun. We're watching WCW NWO Halloween Havoc 98. We got the undefeated Goldberg taking on War Games winner DDP for the world title. We got the terrible Hogan versus Warrior rematch. That was 8 years in the making. We've got several cruiserweight matches on there. Rick Steiner's on there somewhere. We have a bloody horror icon that's on Halloween Havoc. And just a lot of good WCW stuff. So that's the 27th. I'm gonna put more announcements on X about that, and so our schedule for the rest of this week, like I said, 8 o'clock tonight. Watch along for Dynamite. Saturday night, 7:55. Watch along for Collision, and then we will see you next week, back on our regular night, Tuesday at 7. AEW Weekly. Usually Tuesdays at 7. And that's it. And folks, we appreciate you watching, listening.
We'll see
Antonio, Eric, Steven, Comic Book Bob, everybody who chatted in and talked to us. We appreciate it very much. We love talking to you. And yeah, we will see you in 3 minutes. Bye.
1 minute.
Oh, 1 minute. Bye.
Bye.